shout out to you, Sage Steele. Hopefully you win your case. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about ESPN anchor Sage Steele suing the network over violating her First Amendment rights, her freedom of speech, due to some comments she made last year about the virus and Barack Obama. Now, I've been following this case for a while, actually, because I did a video about her comments back then, and I knew that there were some spicy comments and it might get her in trouble. It was not anything I thought was really that bad, but I know how these networks operate. When you say stuff like that, oh no, you can't have that. There was retaliation. Her co-workers retaliated against her. The network retaliated against her. They put her on the sideline. She was not fired by the network, but she was not in some of the more prominent roles as she was before. Not being on primetime. They kind of like just, rather than being at 8 o'clock primetime right in front of your face, they might put her at 1 in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the morning, that type of thing. You understand what I'm saying? Not firing you, but kind of pushing you over here to, rather than being on varsity, you're on JV. Now, before I go any further into this, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you're going to see and hear the comments from last year that got her in trouble. Then you'll also see what's happened since then, all the retaliation and the drama and the kickback. But after we get done watching that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what was said there. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents and my deep, detailed analysis. And then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Welcome to another live edition of SportsCenter alongside Matt Berry. I'm Sage Steele.
She's one of ESPN's biggest stars, even anchoring its flagship broadcast today. Tonight, she's hit the network with a big lawsuit.
I respect everyone's decision. I really do. Yeah. But to mandate it is sick. Mm-hmm. And it's scary to me in many ways.
Steele, who says she's vaccinated, discussed her COVID views on former NFL quarterback Jay Cutler's podcast back in 2021. Steele brought up comments about her biracial identity, then called out President Obama.
Barack Obama chose black and he's biracial. I'm like, well, congratulations to the president. That's his thing. I think that's fascinating considering his black dad was nowhere to be found, but his white mom and grandma raised him. But hey, you do you.
That interview, Steele says, led to retaliation for her remarks.
It's a little off to see someone who's been there for a while, has been developing and coming along, taking on the network at this point in her career.
By early October, ESPN responded, pulling Steele off the air temporarily, saying conversations with the anchor would remain private. Now, she's suing for damages and alleged violations of her civil rights. The lawsuit says her employer continued to punish Steele by removing her from prime assignments and bowed to groupthink and forced Steele to publicly apologize and suspended her for a period of time in October 2021.
When it comes to free speech, what is protected in the workplace?
She works for a private company, and that private company can make employment-based decisions based on what she says.
Kevin Goldberg is the First Amendment specialist at the Freedom Forum in Washington, D.C.
The First Amendment itself, as a constitutional right, only restricts the actions of government in silencing people.
The lawsuit says Connecticut law prohibits private employers from disciplining their employees for engaging in constitutionally protected speech in or outside the workplace.
She has a much stronger case in Connecticut than she would at the federal level.
In response to the allegations, ESPN says Sage remains a valued contributor on some of ESPN's highest profile content, including the recent Masters telecasts and anchoring our noon sports center, also denying the company ever suspended Steele.
We're living in a time when people have their own personal social media pages. They have many opinions and often want to vocalize them. Is this mode of operation still working in the year 2022?
I don't think we want big companies to be acting that quickly. We want more speech, not less. We hope that she's sparking a public conversation. That is what the First Amendment and free speech as a matter of policy are all about.
Her lawsuit says she's seeking punitive damages due to lost revenue and lost business opportunities. For example, her team actually points out that in February, just months ago, Steele submitted a complaint to HR, and soon after, she was offered a chance to co-anchor the Masters. They said the company's response was an obvious scheme to try and dodge responsibility. Of course, ESPN denies all allegations, but it's definitely a story to watch.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, what was said there that was so bad? I don't see anything that she said that was so bad. I mean, the comments about Barack Obama being biracial or whatever, well, he is biracial. She didn't lie. He is biracial. His mom is or was white American. His father is or was black from Africa. That's just what it was. He's born in Hawaii. They were in school. That's how he came to be. And primarily, he was raised by his mother and then the Indonesian stepfather. And then he went to Hawaii with his white grandparents. That's just the reality. And I think the reason why she was talking about that is because she's also biracial. And it's the same thing. Her mother is white and her father, I think he passed away. I think her father was black. It's the same thing. So it's like, look, I identify as biracial. Why can't you? Like, why is that a big deal? But of course, it's Barack Obama and people love him. So you can't say stuff like that. It doesn't matter if it's true. It doesn't matter if you can relate to him. If y'all are both biracial, so what? You will be punished for saying things about our Lord and Savior, Barack Hussein Obama. That's just what it is, right? Then the whole thing came about as far as the virus. Now, this is when tensions about the virus and the restrictions were very high. Now, if you say something like that, I don't believe it gets the same kind of kickback or reaction. But back then, people were really gung-ho about all this, the vaccine and the virus, all this, that, and the third. So when she said it shouldn't be mandated, but you could do whatever you want to do, that was much more controversial at that time when she said it than it is right now. I think now people are starting to understand, they're starting to get it. It's like, look, okay, maybe I don't want to take this. That's my prerogative, and it should be that way. But back then it was much different. So as a result of her comments about the virus and Barack Obama, now she's on the sideline. But it's like, wait a minute, like, what did I do? What's going on? This is not right. And if you notice in the clip, they said in Connecticut law, you can't, this is not right. You can't be punished for your protected speech. Okay, your First Amendment protected rights. You cannot be punished for that in the workplace, which is exactly what happened. All right. And it was beyond just her being punished by her employer. It was her coworkers. They were retaliating against her. Now you got some HR problems, right? You got a coworker talking about, oh, because of what you said, I don't want to be on the air with you. All type of ridiculous drama. It's a whole big mess. Now, like I said, she's not been fired by the network. She still has 2 years on the contract, and she's been there since 2007. So I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe it's going to be a buyout. Maybe it's going to be a settlement, because according to what I've read from the lawsuit, she has a case. You can't do what they did under Connecticut law. It's just straight illegal. So there will be something there. And quite frankly, a lot of these corporations, your Disney, Disney owns ESPN, ABC, all these alphabet letter organizations, a lot of these left-wing places need to be held accountable. Okay, they're firing employees. I think Avery Hecker got fired by Fox Corporation. I'm not sure if it was the big Fox or what, but she was fired by a local Fox outlet for some comments that they didn't like. It might not have even been on the air. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But a lot of people have been fired, disciplined, punished over their speech, saying certain things that maybe somebody didn't like. But is that how we're going to go about doing things? And again, you have a private company, as the person said in the video, but there's laws. Just because you're a private company does not mean you are immune to any kind of law. If I break a law, I might go to the penitentiary. I might have to pay a fine. It'd be some kind of penalty for me being a lawbreaker. If I'm on the road and I'm not wearing a seatbelt or I'm texting and driving, that's breaking the law. It's going to be a penalty. Same thing for a corporation. If they break the law, if they do something that's improper, then be held accountable. And I find it hilarious how a lot of these corporations, super woke, blackity black, pro-black, all this, that, and the third. But then when it comes to reality, it's something different, right? Black History Month, they might want to parade Steele and Stephen A. Smith and everybody out there talking about how diverse we are. But then if you say something about the virus mandates not being right, something about the company that they hold near and dear, oh, all of a sudden now you're going to get put on the sideline. But wait a minute, where's all this? My black sister, my black brother, blackity black. Where's all that? Nope. That's for PR purposes. That's for advertising purposes. the reality of our company is much different than what we put out there to the public. That's a facade. That's an image. The truth is much different than what we put out there. So I like the fact that she's exposing the reality of Disney Corporation, ESPN, ABC, the whole family of networks. I like that, and I want to see more of it. I want to see a lot more of it. A lot of employees of these networks, just come forward and tell your truth. Just tell your truth. Say what's going on. Don't hold it in. Let everybody know what's happening. And not just because you want to expose a network as I close, not only because of that, but because it's the truth. It's the reality. Don't come out here and start lying, telling stories. Just be honest and be real, as I believe Sage Steele is doing. So I hope Sage Steele wins, and I hope others come out to defend her. That's what should happen. But, you know, if you got a job over at Disney Corporation and you're getting paid them M's, sometimes the money speaks louder than any kind of moral standpoint one may have. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about Sage Steele suing ESPN over violating her First Amendment rights? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think it's a great thing, fantastic, and I want to see a lot more of these people come out and stand up for themselves. It's not right that you got sidelined for giving your opinion on the podcast. It wasn't even on the network. You're on Jay Cutler's podcast talking about the mandates and whatnot. And quite frankly, I've heard a lot worse from ESPN anchors. Remember when Jamel Hill called Trump a white supremacist? Like, just said it outright. Nothing Sage Steele said was anywhere close to that. She got a slap on the wrist. I think you had to have Bob Iger come in and do some finagling. And at the time, Bob Iger was the big boss, the CEO of Disney. You going way past your low-level management at ESPN, the big bosses at ESPN. You going all the way to the boss of the whole corporation, right? That's like asking Joe Biden to get on the phone for some dope boy in Little Rock, Arkansas. That's what it was. But see, this is how they kind of play games. The leftist liberal stuff, you can say pretty much whatever you want. You can be racially motivated on television, Stephen A. You could do all of that and it's fine. But when Sage Steele says some things that are just true, Barack Obama is biracial and the mandates were too much and it was sick that it was mandated. All of a sudden now you got to be put on timeout. It's crazy. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.